I am Latasha Smith, and I would like to welcome you to 360 Road to Home Ownership series with the City of Houston Housing and Community Development. Today, I would like to welcome you. Thank you so much for attending this event. We will be going over the first workshop for our series, which is Credit 101. Now we will get started with our agenda. Just a few housekeeping rules before we get started. This event, it will be recorded. We have begun recording already. Also, please maintain that your audio is on mute. As you can see, it is on mute right now. However, we will have questions and answers at the end of the presentation where you will have full opportunity to ask any question that you have to the presenter. So let's get started. The agenda for today will have an introduction of the director and outreach staff. Then we'll have a mini commercial from our Fair Housing Hotline division. We will have introduction to special guests and our presenter. Then we will bring you the upcoming events for our division, and we will close it out with final remarks.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. My name is Onika Porter, and I would like to introduce this is our interim director, Mr. Keith W. Bynum. And I'm going to also introduce our outreach staff. I'm Onika Porter, the admin manager. Latasha Smith, she's our community involvement coordinator. Pedro Sosa, he's our community liaison. Becky Benitez, she's our community liaison. And Dejanay Jones, she's a community liaison.
So now we're up to our presenter for tonight. We have Savant Moore. He is a CEO as well as a author of the book Release the Debts. He is a native Houstonian that graduated from North Shore High School, and he is a graduate of Howard University. So now for you, I want you to sit tight. There is some great information for you tonight, and I guarantee you, you will leave with empowered and also with the information that you need to make the best decision for you and your family. So now I give it over to Mr. Moore.
How you doing? My name is Mr. Moore, Savant Moore. I'm originally from Houston, Texas, as was said. I'm a graduate of North Shore High School, went to Howard University. I'm also a former Army Airborne Ranger. I served 7 years in Afghanistan, full-time entrepreneur. I have a cleaning business in 7 states. I also started a trucking company. And today I just look forward to helping you on your journey to become a homeowner. And we all know that credit is very important. Very, very important. So this is Credit 101, your pathway to home ownership. Step 1, get your finances in order. And I believe by you being on this presentation tonight, you are taking that step. Step 2, know who and what you owe. After this meeting, I want you to make a list of everybody that you owe a debt to so that you can make a plan after writing those down to pay them off. Step 3, this is so important. A lot of us do not know where our money is actually going, especially with us just with our debit card or credit card. We're just sliding and sliding. I want you to start tracking for the next month. Every day, I want you to write down where did you spend your money. And you'll be surprised the places that you can save at once you start tracking this. And step 4, you're actually doing this right now. Attend a home buyer education class. I want you to be in this program from not just today, but through every single class, because I want you to know that you're already a homeowner. There's just a few steps that you have to take to actually have those keys, walk into your home, and be proud of that accomplishment that you made. And today is a step 1. Let's go to the next slide. The ABCs of credit: credit scores, establishing credit, maintaining good credit, credit cards, managing credit challenges. Those are things that we're going to discuss today. I just want to go over the ABCs of credit in case can't stay for the whole presentation. The A is for APR. The A in the ABCs of credit is the single most important credit factor if you're carrying a balance on your card. The A stands for APR, annual percentage rate. It's the amount you pay to borrow, including both interest and fees. The B is for benefits and rewards. Many credit cards offer rewards for spending. And the C is for cardholder terms. A lot of us, we just blindly sign terms and conditions, but every credit card has terms and conditions. Next slide. What actually is credit? Credit, trust given to another person for future payment of a loan, credit card balance, etc. And I like to also say, do you keep your word? Like, someone is allowing you to borrow something and you're saying, hey, I'm going to pay you back for allowing me to borrow this for this temporary time. So you can look at credit as trust given to another person. And if you just want to keep it in a simple term, do you keep your word? Creditor, a person or company to whom a debt is owed. Next slide. The 5 C's of credit. C equals capacity, C equals capital, C equals collateral, C equals conditions, C equals character. So capacity, what is that? Your financial ability to pay the lender back compares your income to expenses. So can you actually, when you're getting approved for that loan, they know based off your income, can you afford to pay them back in actuality? Capital, your own money you are investing in your business, often a down payment. Many people have to put a down payment to purchase a home, but hopefully if you're a first-time home buyer, you'll find a grant, a program that will assist you with your down payment. Collateral, an asset you pledge to back the loan. For instance, you see people, get a title loan. They own their car. If they didn't pay back that loan, they could lose their car because that was used as collateral. Conditions, market analysis of the trends of your industry. Character, credit behavior based on indicators like your credit report and score and payment history. As you know, your character goes back to that saying, do you keep your word? There's a report card on how you pay back people when you borrow for a credit, for a loan, etc. Your character follows you for years, for months. But let's remember that if you have bad character, you can change. And I think that tonight, that's what you're doing. If you are one of those people that in the past weren't using credit in the proper way, tonight you're deciding, I'm going to have good character. I'm going to create a good report. I'm going to have a good score, and I'm going to have great payment history so that I can get approved for this home that I'm about to have. Next slide. When to use credit. Can you describe a situation when it is a good time to use credit and when it is not a good time to use credit? So, my mother, she always taught me when it came to using credit, she had me use credit for pumping my gas, like that's something that we all have to, if we were car owners, we always going to use that every month. It's an easy way to build credit. I would pump my gas with the credit card and I paid it off every month. Another example, when I travel, a lot of times hotels or car rental places, they want a credit card, the hotel, the car rental, or when I purchase an airplane ticket, because I know I'm on this traveling time, I just use the credit card. I was going to pay for it with the debit or cash anyway. I can build my credit by doing that. So that's how I use credit. That's a good time. When is not a good time to use credit? When you know you really don't got it. A lot of people are getting payday loans. I hate that especially in the inner city minority communities. We see all these payday loan places. Just we're robbing Peter to pay back Paul. Why are we doing that? That's not a good time to use credit. Let's, you know, build up your money until you can actually afford what you're seeking versus getting into a huge amount of debt that you may never be able to pay back. And then when you're in that situation where you're looking for a home, you're not able to get approved when you at that exact moment that you wanted that home because you weren't using credit good in your past. Next slide, please. I want you to ask yourself, what are questions that you should ask before using credit? What are questions? Well, take this time, take a quick 15 seconds, and just write down, think of what are questions you can ask to help you when it comes to, should I use credit? I'm going to give you 4 quick questions. So to start feeling 1, 2, 3, and 4, let's go with number 1. What will be the actual cost if I can't pay it off in full? So, there's we see a lot of popular things in our community where they'll say 0%, you don't have to pay back for 90 days. But what happens, it's always that small print. What happens if you go get that furniture, they're giving you 90 days to pay it back, or you go get that tire because you had a flat tire and they give you 90 days to pay it back, but some life happens and you weren't able to pay it back before they started charging for you. So you got to ask that question, what will be the actual cost if I can't pay it off in full? There's always going to be extra costs. 2, I want you to ask yourself, can I save up enough to pay cash if I wait a few weeks? A lot of us in this society, there's an old saying that says we want to keep up the Joneses. Now I say we want to keep up with social media, whether Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, so on and so forth. Can I save up enough to pay cash if I wait a few weeks? If you're employed, you're either getting paid daily, weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly. Hey, how will it be a week before I can purchase this item that I need if I was getting paid daily? Will it be in 2 weeks if I was getting paid weekly? Would it be in 4 weeks if I was getting paid bi-weekly? Would it be in 3 months if I was getting paid monthly? Could I afford, can I really afford this in cash and I need to use credit? Next, number 3, will using a credit card help if I need to return the item or extend the warranty? Will using a credit card help if I need to return the item or extend the warranty? There's a lot of protections when it comes to using credit card. And so some people may only use their credit card. We look at Warren Buffett, one of the most wealthiest men in the world. He keeps $400 of cash on him, and he keeps his American Express. He uses his American Express card all the time to protect himself. So it's just something to think about. We aspire to be like those that are wealthy, are seen to be good managers of money. Take notes from what they're doing. He's using his American Express 98% of the time. And he's paying, and with American Express, you have to pay that off every month. He's paying that off. He's building that great credit history. Number 4, will I get my money's worth? A lot of times we use credit to purchase things that we may not even use 90 days from now, 6 months from now, a year from now. Will I get my money's worth if I'm using credit? So let's give an example. We all live in Houston, Texas. We experienced the power grid failure. What if you used a credit card to purchase your home a generator? Now you know you're getting your money's worth because in case the grid goes down again, that generator comes right on. You're the only person on the block that has power. Now that was actually worth it, right? So I just want you to think of questions to ask yourself before using credit. So I gave you 4. I want you to, after this event, 5, 6, 7, think of some questions. Next slide, please. I believe this right here is very important, guys, right? We're all adults and we know this is our report card, essentially. What is a credit score? A credit score is a number that helps a lender predict how likely an individual is to repay a loan or make credit payments on time. A credit score is a number that changes as the elements in a credit report change. A credit score has broad use and impact. Your credit pass is your credit future. I want to say that again. Your credit past is your credit future. So, based off of your past, will determine if you're going to be that homeowner, right? But the beautiful thing is, you can change. If your past was not so good, you had poor credit, fair credit, you can change. And so, I want you to say to yourself right now, my credit is awesome. My credit is great. My credit future is bright because I'm making the right decisions in the present. And the beautiful thing about making the right decisions in the present, those right decisions become past right decisions. FICO scores, one of the most common credit scoring systems, vary between 350 and 850. Vantage Score, a new credit scoring system developed by the three credit bureaus, ranges from 501 to 990. 501 to 990. I just want to tell the difference. What is the difference between a FICO and a Vantage? What is the difference between FICO and a Vantage? Okay, there's similarities when it comes to the FICO score and the Advantage score. All right, it's a Snapchat. There's a credit score range, as you see. FICO has 350 to 850. The Vantage score has 501 to 990. Okay, so those are similarities. Your utilization is looked at the same, your payment history, the age of your account, the mixture of your account. Let's go over some differences. Two different founders. FICO, if anyone doesn't know this, is a public traded company. It was founded in actually 1956 by engineer Bill Fair, and it was founded in it's a publicly traded company too. So anyone that's interested in investing, you could be making some income off of that FICO. There's a Not everyone is eligible for a credit score. So to qualify for a FICO score, your credit report needs to display a trade line. You got to have either a credit card, a loan, a line of credit, and there's actually a minimum of having them being 6 months old for you to have a FICO. So with the FICO score, there's a difference in what is actually excellent. You got 800 through 850, a Vantage score. Excellent is actually 781 to 850. I'll go over fair, 580 to 669 with your FICO, and with Vantage score, 500 to 600 is fair. So, a lot of people may have Credit Karma, and you'll see, oh, I got a fair score. It's actually a little lower threshold than it is with FICO. Next slide. What makes up a typical credit score? This is so important, guys. I need y'all to really remember what is that high percentage, your payment history. As I just said, your credit past determines your credit future. Your payment history is so important. You have to pay your bills on time. If you want to be that homeowner, you want to be that homeowner. You want to be your homeowner. Pay your bills on time because that's 35% of your score. Current total debt is 30%. 30%. And it's not a bad thing. A lot of times they want to see, hey, do you have an auto loan? Are you paying that bill on time? Do you have a credit card? Do you use it responsibly? So it's not always a bad thing. What's your length of credit history is 15%. Length of credit history, 15%. So a lot of times you'll see somebody, Warren Buffett, he's probably had his American Express since the 60s and he's paying it on time. He has beautiful credit history, right? Paying that bill on time. 10% request for new credit. So every time, when they try to get you at the store, hey, we'll take 10% off. That's going to ding your credit score. If you apply for that new credit card, that's 10%. Types of credit in use, 10%. So there's different type of credit. Your auto loan is different from if you have a mortgage. Student loans is a different type of credit from a credit card, so on and so forth. I just want you to know what makes up a typical credit score, but please remember that highest one, payment history, 35%. Next slide. If you don't remember anything else, take a snapshot, a screenshot, a picture. How can you improve your credit score? Number one, pay bills on time. Just keep your word. By you paying bills on your time, there's a beautiful default that happens. Your credit score is going to go up. Pay bills on time. Two, I need you to get current and stay current. I know a lot of us, we hate that spam call, right? And a lot of times it be the bill collector. But we have to say, hey, from this moment forward, I'm going to have a conversation with them and I'm going to say, hey, this is what I actually can afford. These are, maybe you can change that payment date for me because I don't get paid on this date and I keep having this negative impact and I don't have the income. I didn't have the pay to pay this on time. I want you to have communication. Okay. That's what getting current and staying current. First, communicate with anybody that you owe debt. I don't care if it's a family or a friend. Communicate with them. Hey, in the next 6 months, I know you allowed me to borrow you this money. I get paid on such and such day. This is what I can afford. This doesn't have to do with credit score, but something that you should do is have a budget, guys. That will help you get current and stay current. I want you to write in that budget debt payments. Whoever you owe, write their names. The same way that you pay your rent on time, your car note on time, all your insurance on time. Are you able to, go out and have a great time with family and friends? Let's knock out that debt. Three, don't open a lot of new accounts too rapidly, especially now. If your goal is to be a homeowner, it's time out for opening any new accounts. Okay. Four, correct mistakes. I'll keep repeating this. The beautiful thing about a past is that you can change. Okay, you used to didn't pay your bills on time, but now you do. Okay, you used to didn't stay current and communicate with that bill collector, that family and friend, but now you do. You used to continue to open new accounts, take payday loans, but now you don't. Okay. Five, shop for loan rates within a focused period of time. If you don't know, a lot of times when you, for instance, are applying for a mortgage, there's a certain amount of days you can shop around. It's not going to give multiple dings. Or if you're going and shopping for a car, you can shop around with different lenders and it's not going to get a ding to your credit score because they see that, okay, he's in the shopping phase or he or she is in the shopping phase. Keep balances low on revolving credit. I know everyone hears 30% utilization, but you need to. This is the sweet spot, guys. 1 to 3%. I'm going to say it again. 1 to 3%. I know it's crazy. I'm going to give simple math. If you had a $300 card, use the card, but make sure when you pay that bill off, there's only $3 left, 1%. They see that you used it, but your balance is low. That's the sweet spot, 1 to 3%. But if all else fails, 15% or lower, guys. 15% or lower. But I'm telling you, right now in this moment, what are you supposed to be telling yourself? I am a homeowner. 1 to 3%. Pay off debt. I don't believe in debt. I've had debt through the school, car loans, business, but I was really proactive about paying off my debt. I was in debt, $200,000 for 4 years. I was door dashing, working, business, and I paid off all my debt. People laughed at me, talked about me, but guess what? I am debt free and I'm going to stay that way. Lastly, on this slide, check your credit report because there's a lot of things on credit reports that should not be there. At the end of this presentation, if you want to email me, I'm going to send you a do-it-yourself credit repair kit, and it will help you clear up that credit report. Next slide. This is just so you to know what are types of credit. There's cash credit, sales credit, there's secure credit. I'll speak on that one. There's a little secret, right? I don't know if people have heard of Finger Hut, but you can go to Finger Hut and you apply for their their loan, their credit. And what's going to happen is if they require you to need to make a deposit, $30, in order to use their line of credit, that is just a little secret to show you if you would get approved for an unsecured card. If you have to make the deposit, that means you will only get approved for a secured credit. And what secured credit is, hey, I go to Capital One, I say, hey, I want to have a secured credit card, and they want me to give them $200 or more. So if I want a $200 limit, I have to give my own cash to them. They hold it and they allow me to use that credit card. Or if I recommend $1,000. Put $1,000, use that, let them hold it, and use that as a secure credit card. But just remember, this is a little secret. You apply for the Finger Hut. If they make you pay the $30, that means you won't get approved for an unsecured card at this present moment. But you would get approved for a secured card. So that's just a little secret. You got revolving credit, you got IOU. IOUs, a lot of us old family members are friends. Let's pay that off. Single payment credit, you have installment credit and the other type of credit. So just wanted to give you what the type of credits are. Next slide. Sources of credit. You have banks, as I mentioned. If you had to get that secured card, you may go to your bank. You have retail stores. Like I said earlier, you go to the store. Hey, I'll give you 10% if you apply for this credit card. You got savings and loan associations. You have credit unions. If you don't have a credit union, I strongly recommend that you get one. One, we live in the city of Houston where public transportation is in certain parts of the city, but not in all. So a lot of people have a need for a car. Credit unions have the best loan rates, interest rates when it comes to purchasing a car. They'll give you the check, you go to the dealership, there's no more haggling you because you already know how much you were approved for the car that you want. So credit unions, I'm telling you, that's also another person you build a relationship with. They may give you a line of credit that that bank may not. You have finance companies and you have internet stores like Amazon, PayPal offers credit. Really what's popular now, you'll see the Affirm or Afterpay internet stores. What are other sources of credit? What sources of credit should be avoided and why? So those are questions I want you to ask yourself. What sources of credit should be avoided and why? And the number one that I'll give is payday loans. Payday loans. Please avoid them. Please avoid the check cashing places. If you do not have a bank account or the credit union account, please get one this week, like as soon as possible. That's the type of credit you should be avoided. I hope that they leave our communities forever because they're putting a lot of people in financial situations that they shouldn't be in. And that leads to the next slide. Next slide, please. Steps to take to avoid abusive lending. Have you shopped around for the best deal? Number one. Two, do you feel the lender pressured you to take the loan? Three, do you understand the terms of the loan? So I just gave that a quick example with I know we're all purchasing a home. You are a homeowner. I'm gonna keep saying that. I need you that mental shift. I am a homeowner, but I'll use a car loan. You feel pressure when you go to the dealership. The salesman's just ready, to be there on you. But if you went to the credit union, already have the check, you wouldn't feel that pressure. That's the example I had. Hey, did you shop around for the best deal? Do you understand the terms of the loan? A lot of times we'll just sign away. But did we actually read the fine print? Okay. Next. A lot of us will be applying for credit. These are common parts of a credit application. Reason for the loan. So right now you're in a class to become a homeowner. So you're getting a loan to get a mortgage. Your personal identification information, your name, your address, your employment information, who do you work for, how you receiving that income. Right now you may be in a rental information, you're paying your rent. In the future, you will have mortgage information. There may be documentation required. They want to know, what are your current debts? Who do you owe? What are your credit references? Collateral for some applications, as I said, they may need a title for your car. They may need your home, may have to go for a business loan to use as collateral. Bank references, your signature and date. These are common parts of a credit application. Next slide. Take a picture of this. Take a screenshot, a snapshot. What are questions to ask when applying for credit? What are questions to ask when applying for credit? What is the annual fee? What is the annual fee? What is the annual percentage rate, APR? When are payments due? Remember, I said communication earlier. A lot of times payment may be due before you actually receive income to pay it. And so you get behind just because of that. You didn't do a simple phone call. What is the minimum payment required each month? A lot of credit cards may just require, hey, $25 payment due on the due date. What is the minimum payment? Can you afford that minimum payment? Is there a grace period? Are there other fees associated with the credit, such as minimum finance charges? I know a real popular card for those that don't have good credit is Credit One, but can you afford that $79 extra fee that is attached to that credit card? Or should you use the time to work on your credit so you can get a credit card that does not require annual fee? What is the credit limit? Like, is this a $300 card so I can't use it more than $300? Is this a $500 card? Is this $1,000 credit limit? Are you that future wealthy person that has that black card that's unlimited credit limit? What are the penalties for late or missed payments? Are they gonna charge you extra money for you not paying your that payment or missing that payment? What are the terms and conditions of the credit? What else is included in the fine print? I need you to ask yourself all of these questions. Next slide. Maintaining good credit. I'm going to go over the debt to income on thermometer, the credit process, credit reporting agencies, credit safeguards for consumers, credit reports, ratings, and scores, establishing a credit history. Next slide. So your debt to income thermometer is very important. When you're getting or starting to apply for your mortgage, they're going to look at your debt to income. Do you have more debt than income that's actually coming in? So as you can see, remember, you have some homework. You need to write down, who do you owe? Do you owe 50% or more than the money that's coming in? You are in a danger zone. Danger zone. 39% to 50% is high. 24% to 38% is fair. 16% to 23% is good. Remember what I said earlier. 1 to 3% is the sweet spot, but 15% or less debt to income is great. You're going to always be looked at as great. Next slide. The credit process. They're going to look at your credit history. They're going to get your score from a credit bureau. There's 3. They're going to look at your credit report to see, have you been paying your bills on time, which will tell them what your credit score is, which can range from 350 to 850, and tell what your credit rating is. Let's go to the next slide. I just want to show you what a sample credit report. Once again, at the end, Write down my email. I'm going to send you a do-it-yourself credit repair kit. What's very important is what you see. You see John Doe 123 home address. In that do-it-yourself credit repair kit, I have you write a letter to each credit bureau to help it where it's only one address there and not multiple addresses. You just want one address. They're going to have all your pertinent information, addresses on there. Let's look at credit history. So you see this person had a store card. Whose account is it? When did you open it? The amount of months that they've been reviewing. When was the last time that you paid? Is it high credit? Does it have terms attached to it? And when was the last time that it was reported? There's going to be a series of this on your credit report. You may have a store card from Macy's, your bank card, XYZ Bank. You're going to see whose account is it. So it may be a joint account if you're married. You may be sharing that with your spouse. The individual is just in your name. Authorized user. If you have a family member that you know is amazing with credit, it may be a time to ask them, hey, can I be an authorized user? Because when you're an authorized user, their payment history and it gets put on your credit history will help bump up your score. You'll see, oh, is this is it open? Is it revolving? Or is it an installment? They're also going to say, hey, was this a closed account? Like I had student loans for college. I paid that off. It says on my credit report, closed account. You go down, they show your prior paying history. It's in cycles. Have you been paying it on time for the last 30 days? Have you been paying it on time for the last 60 days? Have you been paying it on time for the last 90 plus days? Remember, your credit past is your credit future. Collection accounts. You're going to see, hey, do you owe someone? The account was sold off, they wrote it off as debt, and they sold it to a collection agency. It's going to be there. You don't have to pay if it's in that collection. I'll show you in that do-it-yourself credit repair kit how you can get that deleted off your account. That's just my tidbit. I wouldn't pay anything if it's in collection. Next slide. The the beautiful thing is we do have safeguards. There's the Truth in Lending Act. There's the Fair Credit Reporting Act, Equal Credit Opportunity Act, Fair Credit Billing Act, Fair Debt Collection Practice Act. I would like look these up. Know what laws are in place to help you as a lender. There are safeguards for you as a consumer. Next slide. The Fair and Accurate Credit Transaction Act. One of the primary objectives behind the Fair and Accurate Credit Transaction Act is to help consumers fight the growing crime of identity theft. That's why it's so important for you to get your credit report. Because a lot of times we may have a score that is not true because somebody else was using our accounts and we can get that stuff off so that you're able to get a free credit report. If you didn't know this, you can get a free credit report from each bureau once a year. Do it. Now, the strategy that I like to do, I'll get it from one credit bureau the first quarter of the year. Then the next quarter of the year, I'll get it from another bureau. And then the following quarter, I'll get it from the other bureau. That way I'm getting an accurate picture throughout the year versus just getting all three at once. Next slide. Credit cards, types, things to do to establish and maintain good credit. What can everyone do to establish and maintain good credit? As you can see, this it's on repeat, guys. I am a broken record. Pay all bills on time. I'm going to say it again. Pay all bills on time. Tell yourself right now, I am a homeowner. Therefore, I pay my bills on time. I am a homeowner. Therefore, I pay my bills on time. I want you to avoid late fees. I want you to avoid late fees. How do you avoid late fees? By paying the bill on time, by having a budget and knowing, hey, when is this bill due? Listen, if you got to make it where you got a calendar alert, you have a phone alert, phone alarm alert, you get an email sent to you, you tell your spouse, hey, did you pay that bill on time? You write a post-it note in your bathroom and you see it every day to pay your bill on time. Know that by you doing that, you're establishing, you're maintaining your good credit. I want you to do that. Like from this moment on, what am I going to do to establish and maintain good credit? And write down what are those steps that you need. You know yourself as an individual, and you know yourself as your spouse and your family. One thing that I also encourage, have a meeting, a family meeting, at least once a month. Maybe while you're working on your credit once a week, have your children there as well and say, hey guys, you may not understand this right now, but I want you to be a part of this because I want you to have good credit. But have it where it's a family activity and say, hey, as a family, we're going to establish good credit because we're going to be a homeowner in the next 6 months. We're going to be a homeowner next year. And I'm going to maintain that good credit and have that communication with your spouse, with yourself, with your children. Next slide. Types of credits. Shopping for a credit card, cost of credit. Go to the next slide. You have private label, like I said, I recommend we all put gas in our car, apply for that gasoline company, pay it off in full every month. It will help you build your credit. You got general label, your bank card. I told you a secret, the hack, finger hut, how to know if you can get secured or unsecured, then apply to your bank for a credit card. Next, when you're shopping for a credit card, decisions. What's the annual fee? What's the APR? What's the computation method? Is there a grace period? Do they have a finance charge? What is my credit limit? And are there card incentives? A beautiful thing about card incentives, a lot of us like to travel. We want to see the world. There's so many friends, myself, by us using that credit card, a lot of times we stay at hotels for free because we built up travel rewards, or we build up travel miles and we're flying for free. So it's a beautiful incentive to have a credit card if you're responsible with it. So look at it like that. By me being responsible, by me making good decisions, there's some benefits that I can enjoy. Next slide. Repeating it again. Questions to ask when shopping for a credit card. Take a picture of this. What's the annual fee? What's the annual percentage rate? Is your rate low or high? You know, a lot of times, I go back to car loans. That person with no credit may have a ridiculous amount for APR. Or someone that's been good with their credit history may have a low one. I'm usually my car 2% or lower when I apply for a loan. Right now is a beautiful time to be a homeowner. You got these great APRs for homes. Next slide. It's so important to know what's the cost of credit. How much can credit cost? If you make only the minimum payment for an item, here are some examples real quick. You had a $500 balance, but your APR was 15%. First month payment was $20. Interest cost when making just the minimum payment was $100. So the true cost when making just the minimum payment on time was $600, and it takes you 2.4 years to pay off for that item. So that's why each of these things are so important, because you could be paying way more than what you initially borrowed. Next slide, please. Managing credit challenges, warning signs of credit abuse, credit card reductions, correcting credit errors, resources, and assistance. Let's go to the next slide. I want you to measure the seriousness of credit trouble. You can say, hey, it's 1 is not serious or 4 is very serious. Trouble signs, delinquent payments. That's very serious. Default notices. It's very serious. Repossessions, very serious. Collection agencies, very serious. Liens. You got people garnishment. You're not paying your bills on time. Now your check is getting garnished. This is very serious. And I'm telling you from today moving forward, if any of these things are in your credit past, we can fix them and we can move forward and you will still be a homeowner. Next slide. Warning signs again of debt problems. You have to be real with yourself. Do you have delinquent payments? Are you in default? Do you have a repossession car? Do you have things in collection agencies? Have you received a judgment lien? Is your current paycheck getting garnished from past decisions? I'm letting you know once again that you can change. You can change. Next slide. Credit card reductions. Paying only the minimum payments of your credit card may seem appealing, but if only minimum payments are made, it can take years, sometimes decades, to achieve full repayment. Paying the minimum amount due keeps your credit history clean, but it also costs you more. And that's why I said earlier that 1 to 3%, that's what you want to do. Use the credit card wisely, responsibly. Pay it down every month. Pay and another little trinket. There's a due date and there's a statement date. I need you to call if you currently have a credit card. Call your creditor and ask them, hey, when is the due date and when is the statement date? You need to pay that bill before the statement date because the statement date is when they put it on your credit report. If you pay your bill, you got it to that 1 to 3%. You paid it before that statement date, it goes on your credit report. Excellent, because you paid it before the statement date. You got it down to that 1 to 3% or 15% or lower versus that minimum payment and you taking years to pay it off. Yeah, it looks good that you've been paying it on time, but it's taking you longer versus creating the habit of paying it on time every month and just keeping a small portion of your credit used. Next slide. You're gonna go get your credit report tonight or tomorrow. Get one free credit report. They're gonna mail it to you. And I want you to do this exercise. Circle the incorrect items on your credit report. And then and once again, if you email me, write a letter to the reporting agency. You're gonna tell them which information you think is inaccurate, and you will provide supporting documentation. Send all materials by certified mail. You're going to send a similar letter to the creditor whose report you disagree with. The reporting agency will conduct an investigation. They have 30 to 45 days to do that. If they don't find it in that time, don't come back to you, it's going to be deleted. If negative information is accurate, it can stay on your report for 7 to 10 years. But guys, there's a cycle. You write, there's some rounds, 1 round, 2 round, 3 round, 4, 5 round. If you don't give up with writing these letters to these agencies, I'm telling you, things will start deleting off of your credit report, and we're going to get you to that goal of being a homeowner. Next slide. Correcting credit problems. Tonight, you took responsibility for your past actions. You said, I'm going to attend this event. I want to be a homeowner. I'm making a change. I'm going to have a great credit present that becomes a credit past that allows me to have a great credit future. You're going to communicate with creditors. Communication. If we as adults just could learn how to communicate, what a beautiful world it'll be. Communicate with your creditors. Call them hey, I don't have it right now, but I will at this date, or I get paid on this date. That is so important, having that open line of communication before they send it to the collection agency. Debt consolidation is one way. You got credit counseling, and for some cases, bankruptcy may be an option. Last slide. Guys, I want you to screenshot this. That's my email, my personal email. Send me an email. I will send you the do-it-yourself credit repair kit. Yes, it will require you to type a few letters. Yes, it will require you to print them off. Yes, it will require you to go to that post office, buy a stamp. But if you do this, I'm telling you that you will be a homeowner. If you do this, I need you to follow me on Instagram, Savant Moore. If you are a reader, I do have a book, Release the Debts. I gave a 10-step plan on how to become debt free, where to invest, life insurance, so on and so forth. If you're an ebook reader, it is on gumroad.com. And I want you to say this every morning and night until it happens. I am a homeowner. I am a homeowner. I am a homeowner. And the way that you're going to become a homeowner is by doing this program. This was the first class. I need you to be at the next class, and the class after that, and the class after that. And don't give up, because you will be a homeowner. Thank you.
That was great information. I hope everyone is excited about their journey in being a homeowner, even if your desire right now is not to be a homeowner, but you want to prepare your credit for something else. These steps can be utilized in every aspect of your life. So definitely, we would like to thank Mr. Moore for taking out his time to give us that great information. We're just going to go over a few things. We have upcoming events, and I'm going to go over the event that we have for tomorrow. We will have our virtual lunch and learn tomorrow morning, November the 19th, from 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. The topic that this particular lunch and learn will be about fair housing and tenant and landlord relationship. So if you know someone that maybe is living in an apartment that want more information about what is their rights as a tenant, what is the responsibility of the landlord, please have them register for this particular event for tomorrow, so that it is still time for you to register. So if those individuals that are on tonight want to register for that event, please do so. So if we don't have any questions, we're right at 7 o'clock. So we're getting out right at the time that we're supposed to. Once again, I thank all of you for taking out the time to be here. Like he stated, this is the start of your journey. You're taking that step. So we thank you for doing that. Now I am going to give this over to our manager, Miss Onika Porter, for final remarks and to close us out.
Thank you again, Savant. That was a lot of information, a lot of very important information. We're glad that everyone that joined us tonight got a chance to get that information. I myself, I just purchased my second home, and all of that information he gave is very, very true. I had to go through all those steps as well. Even though I was already a homeowner, I still had to make sure that my credit was together, and then I had my debt and everything paid down. So all that information was very, very accurate. So we do again thank you guys for joining us. We want you to continue in our Road to 360 Home Ownership series. There are several other parts that we would like for you to continue on this journey with us. We want to get you through the steps. We want to get you down to the point where you're applying for our home buyers assistance program and you're ready for the $30,000 that we give towards home ownership. So we do appreciate you joining us tonight. And if you can, please tune in tomorrow for our lunch and learn. We have those monthly. This year, that will be our last one for the year. We will start that up again in January, but we definitely want you to join us tomorrow if you possibly can. And thank you guys for joining us tonight. We really, really appreciate it.